G'day folks, Luke here from Fish That Snag. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. Well, over the last couple of months, the weather here on the Fraser Coast has not been kind to us at all. But the good news is the last 2 weeks, she's started to turn really good. We've come into autumn, getting consistent weather, and that means we can get back out on the water and do a bit of fishing. Last week, I had 2 opportunities to get out and have a quick fish. The first day early in the week, I only had about 2 hours. So I treated that as a bit of a reconnaissance to get out there and see what was biting and where. And I went for a fairly easy target, went out there and had a look to see where the tuna were moving around. So I departed from Urangan Boat Harbour and I went past the northern tip of Big Woody Island to the entrance to where the channels are. The first channel basically runs along the edge of Big Woody Island. It's got a sandbank on one side, then the second channel runs between 2 sandbanks down in between Big Woody and Little Woody Island, and the third channel runs right along the edge of Fraser Island, as you can see here. Just take note of this area I've got marked down the southern end of Little Woody. It's a big green zone, not allowed to fish in there, and this line here I've got marked delineates a go slow zone north of Bagimba Creek on the flats. What I notice at low tide, tuna schools hang around out the front up here, and as the tide moves in, some of those tuna schools will choose one of the channels depending on where the bait is, and they will move in with the tide. Trick is get out there, have a look around, follow the birds and find out which channel they're working in. So as I mentioned, I only had a couple of hours on this morning. I got onto a school of small mac tuna to start with. Great fun on light gear, and I managed to boat a few rather quickly. But in the distance was what I was particularly interested in. It was always a good feeling to get the first fish in the boat. However, this guy did not want to sit still for a photo. Put blood everywhere, so he went straight back into the water. So once the sun got up, I then noticed in the furthest channel that there were larger schools of what looked to be longtail tuna. So I decided I had about an hour and a half left, so I thought I'd go over there and see if I could boat myself a longtail tuna. And I found them to be very, very spooky. Took me a while to get onto them, but when I eventually did, this is what happened. Ah! So frustrating. I was so disappointed, so frustrated after that first day. I had to go to work the next day. All I was thinking about all day was what could have I done better. Anyway, later in the week I had a full day to get out there and actually try and land a couple of these nice longtail tuna, and that is exactly what we got up to. So I was very keen to go back and see if the tuna schools were still moving in the same area, and I found them basically exactly where I'd left them a few days before. The trick then was to get close enough to them to get a few casts in, and that proved really, really difficult. I cast and I cast and I cast, and it was getting very, very frustrating. They were very, very spooky. I'd probably get one cast at them before they'd dive down and disappear. So after having a few goes at the tuna schools, I decided to sit down and have a bit of a think about my approach. This is how I was initially having a crack at the tuna schools. Essentially, I was sneaking around. I'd see roughly which direction they were going, judge where the wind was going, try and judge which direction they were roughly heading in, and I was leapfrogging the school essentially, trying to get around in front of them so when they popped up next I could have a cast at them. This basically didn't work. It's worked for me lots and lots of other times, but these schools were just so spooky, I think because of the engine noise and all sorts of other things. So I had to really change my approach. So what I decided to do was just basically run completely silent. I sat there for a while watching which direction they were going. They were essentially just moving in with the tide, running up against the wind. They were zigzagging a little bit, but not too much. So I just powered forward as far as I could. I got a good couple of 100 meters in front of where I last sighted them, and then I just switched everything off. Motor, sounder, everything, just switched it off and just sat there slowly drifting. I didn't drift too far because of the wind against tide that was sort of holding me in place, and I was fairly confident if they popped up within casting range, I could hit them pretty well. With 30 to 40 gram lures on, a good casting outfit, you need to be able to get good distance, and this worked for me. Almost made a complete meal of that one, but it was so good to have the first longtail in the boat. From now on, it was game on. really heavy, really, really heavy. So gorgeous. There you go, folks. I'm all done. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube channel. If you have not done so already, please hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, share this video with all your mates and your friends, and of course leave a comment down below to let me know what you thought of it. As always, stay safe, and I really do hope to see you out on the water one day.